You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 139. Today is September 6, 2025. Today's guest is my buddy Pete. Met him through Instagram with the podcast and everything, but we'll get him on in a bit. I'm going to start with my same spiel. Guys, the hotline's still there. Humberto, you did not leave me a voice message, bro. You text me that you listened to the podcast episode. You text me that you listened to the podcast episode twice, but yet you still did not call that hotline, bro. Guys, the hotline is 818-806-8595. If you have any questions of the podcast, for my guest, for myself, for how I came up with my name, how do I find my guest, future topic episodes, whatever, just give it a call. Leave a voice message and I will record. You can call it anonymous. That's the beautiful part about it. *67, the number, and you can leave a voice message and I will play that voice message on a future podcast episode. Again, the socials are Instagram, Ride With Me Podcast, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble. It's all the same. FTA_podcast. I'm on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Alexa plays it. On YouTube, you can rate on Spotify. You can review on Apple Podcasts. You guys can leave a comment, follow, and share. You can rate, like I said, if you guys can rate the podcast. I know there's more than 5 of you listening. So hook up a brother up. And again, before I introduce the guest, the sponsor. This episode is brought to you by SolarX Insurance, fast, friendly, and affordable coverage that you can count on. Need an SR22? Do you ride a motorcycle? Are you already insured? SolarX has you covered. They help all drivers no matter the situation. Just call 877-736-4719. That's 877-736-4719 and get back on the road with confidence. Again, guys, hit him up. My boy Juan, he's waiting for your calls. I've known this guy since high school. It's a legit business, guys. And now on to my guest that sees me doing my little spiel. Buddy, it comes in handy having this 3 monitors, bro. Before it was on my phone, I would have to scramble through notepads and shit. But yeah, my guest, host of Pete versus Anxiety podcast, is on with us this morning. Pete, how are you today?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Just recovering, man. Just tired. We had an emotional week last week, and I'm still kind of recovering from it. It reminded me because I saw your dogs are in the background messing with each other. We lost our family pet last week. My wife called me at work on a Wednesday and she said, "Hey, Max is crying," and I was like, "Why? What? He's crying?" She was like, "The way he's crying, it's not like a howl, you know." And no, that's not how he's crying. And I'm like, okay. So I come over and I see that something bit him. Like he nipped at it, right? I'm like, damn, something bit him. So I rinsed him off. It was cold. It was also hot. It's been hot out here. So I rinsed him off to kind of cool him down. Rinsed off his wound and whatever. And I'm like, okay. So he needs. I usually have this ointment that I put on his cut. 1, it'll numb it. 2, it'll heal it. 3, it'll keep him from messing with it. But since I was in the garage looking for it, I couldn't find it. And I was like, shit. So, all right. He stopped crying. He was fine. He was cool. Okay, cool. It is what it is. Next day, Thursday now, my wife calls and she said, hey, he's crying again. I'm like, okay, well, after work, I'm going to go get the cone of shame. And then the neighbor already told me there's this ointment that I can buy on Amazon. It's the same thing that I use, different brand, but it's going to get shipped. It's going to get here today. No problem. And then she has some antibiotics. I'm like, okay, cool. So that was the plan. But I ended up, because it was Labor Day, leading up to Labor Day week, I worked later, man. I didn't get home till like 4:00. And ointment had just got here in the mail. All right, cool. Got the ointment. Waiting for the lady next door to say hi and give me the medication. But in the meantime, I went out to go look for him, at least to rinse him off and to put the ointment on. I couldn't find him. Like, shit, where's he at? I mean, I'm like yelling for Max, and I'm yelling for him, and I'm like, and I go back in the house and I'm like, I think did the neighbor grab him or did he run off? Did I know? Like, so I go back and I go to the lowest tree that we have in the backyard. literally this tree has no stump. That's how low it is to the ground. He was under there, and he was not moving, and so I'm like, no way, he's gone. And I went in the house, and my wife's like, nah. My wife starts laughing. She's like, cause I'm a jokester, bro. She's like, no, he's not. Or she wasn't accepting it. No, he's not.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, he's gone, babe. No, he's not. No, he's not. I'm like, babe, he's gone. And I tell my son, come on, mijo, I need your help. I'm not a big fan of moving dead animals. Even when the dogs kill a rat or something, I'm like, you know what I mean? So I call my father-in-law, and I'm like, hey, suegro, I need your help. The vet's already, the pound's already closed, so it's very hot out here. If I leave him out here one more day, he's gonna start to smell. I called my uncle across.
Track something too.
I called my uncle across the street, and he was like, what I did was you have a big yard, mijo. I would dig a hole, go 4 feet deep, and then just dig a hole. All right. So we start digging the hole, and my father-in-law comes over, and so we start digging the hole, and him and my son carry him from where he's at towards the hole. And then, so when I'm like, when we're about to put him in the hole, I told my son, no, mijo, this is our dog. I cannot be like, oh, I don't want to touch him because, he's dead. No. This is my dog. This is our dog. The least I can do is put him in the hole. So we picked him up and put him in the hole, and then covered him up with an old sheet that my wife we weren't using anymore. Covered him, and then we started putting dirt. And then when we put a big board over it, because I didn't want the other dogs to start digging for him. So we put a big board over it. I think the moment that we did that, that's when it hit us all, because we all started crying. My son, my 16-year-old, who does not cry since the moment he turned 13, the moment he became a teen, bro, this kid does not cry.
Yeah.
And dude, bloodshot eyes, he was crying.
Yeah, man, it's hard. It's lost, man. It's hard when you lose animals like that, especially when you're close to them, and things like that too. So
and we've had him. The quick story behind it is my wife said, you guys can have a dog only if it's a Siberian Husky. She knew we would never find one because they're too expensive, right? So we ended up going to the pound. We were at the pound for 2 hours, bro. And nothing, bro. What about this one? Nope. What about that one? No. She has something against Chihuahuas because she used to be attacked as a kid. So okay, I give you that one. You should be on the podcast and talk about those damn Chihuahuas. And
there you go.
And we finally hit the last row of dogs, the cages and stuff. Bro, he was in the very last cage. And she was like, fuck. It was meant to happen. I'm like, what? I'm like, she's like, well, I said that dog because I knew it would be hard for you guys to find that dog. And then here he is, bro. And so we brought him home, and he's been part of the family for the past 7 years. And I've been playing back old videos and pictures, just like a regular human, man, and just
people that don't own pets like that don't get it though, man. And I was a big cat person for a while before I met my wife, and then she has a Boston Terrier that came with her.
Right.
So, and then we inherited a German Shepherd as well. So,
which is a guy that I just saw walk by.
Yeah, that's the one you see in the background bouncing around a lot. Yeah, she's back there going back and forth and everything too. But yeah, I used to have cats, and it was hard when I had to give them up, because where I live now, I can't have cats, but I can have dogs. And here in Texas, you can have emotional support animals. So the dogs fall under that. So they can't say no to the German Shepherd either, because technically she's trained to be one of those. So, I was never a big dog person at first, but now I really get it now. Now I'm like, we're real close and everything too. So it makes a lot of sense, man. It's hard also when you lose your pets like that, man.
Yeah.
It's especially having to bury them. My wife does it every day. She's a vet tech.
Oh, okay.
So when she has to do euthanasias and stuff, she has to bag up these people's animals and shit. I'm just like, dude, I couldn't do that. I'm sorry.
No, it was, like I said, I think, I believe it was when we covered it up with the board, that's when it hit everybody. And then my wife, because my wife came out, and she was kind of watching us, and then I kind of snapped at her, go in the house, because I knew she was going to break down. And the last thing we want while we're digging this hole. It's for her to be
Right.
moping and crying and stuff. So, yeah, it was a
You
reality.
just imagine that too. The dog digs up part of the other dog, and you're like, "Oh God, here we go."
Yeah.
Honey, what's that? Oh, never mind, babe. Don't worry about it. It's just a stick he found or something in the
Yeah,
yard. Trying to lie about it.
yeah.
God, no, dude. I just no.
Yeah, so she was already looking at like little plaques and stuff that she wants to buy, and I'm like, dude, knock
Yeah.
yourself out. That's gonna help you out, man. But yeah, that's a tough icebreaker here, buddy.
Right?
Sorry to start you off like that, bro, but I saw
Listen,
your dog in
man,
the background, man.
Listen, when you're in the topic I'm in, dude, you hear wild shit all day, every fucking day.
I had
We'll get into that one. I'll have to tell you the story about the craziest shit ever that's happened here soon
Yeah.
enough. I'll tell you about that one though. But it was just,
yeah.
you know, especially doing my topic area, bro. It's, dude, you never know what people are gonna fucking say when they come on this show and they say the craziest things.
I honestly got to the point where I was like, okay, you know what? After having some of these guests on here, no offense to any of my guests, I'm just like,
He said full disclaimer.
just no offense to any of my guests, but I started telling my wife, you know what? I think this podcast kind of is helping me because, damn, maybe my life wasn't that bad. Maybe my life was not that bad. It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, man, if you're willing to come on the podcast, on my podcast, on Pete's podcast, and share your story, hey, that's what we're here for. Because the point of this for me was there's no way that someone's going through the same bullshit that I am. And dude, you hear stories worse, or like somebody comes on and says, hey, you know, my baby's mom cheated on me, and you know, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah. How many times? Once. Okay, mine did me 6 times. Really? Holy shit. Yeah. The last one I gave up when it was my own brother. She's like, oh, what? Then then they realize their story's not that bad.
Right. You know, and I think you make a good point there, though, too.
Yeah.
Especially in the mental health topics where we're at, dude. A lot of people, when they hear people's stories, a lot of times that's how we get a lot of people that were coming on early on. We're like, hey, I heard someone else's story. Now I want to be the person that comes on. And it, you know, it's just like, it's hard sometimes. You hear some of these stories. I think the first time ever, 2 weeks ago, I cried on the show, dude. Like, I was in tears, choked up. This girl was telling this story about her brother who unfortunately took his own life because he was an addict. And then you find out that the brother was actually being abused by the dad and the grandfather.
Oh, my God.
And it just kept stacking up. And I was like, oh, God.
Okay, stop. Let it stop.
Like, you know, you got to stop. She's crying. I'm crying. And I'm just like, oh, dude, it's so heart-wrenching sometimes. You hear some of these stories these people tell you, man. But it's like, it's at the same time, it's like, it's so therapeutic to them, though, you know. Like,
and when I started this podcast, and back to my brother thing, I can say he came on the podcast and we talked about it, we squashed it, we talked, we're good now. But like when I started saying, hey, I want to start talking about the events in my life, one of my buddies was like, what are you, fucking Joe Dirt? And I took that offensive. I'm like, no, I'm not Joe Dirt. People made fun of Joe Dirt. Mm-hmm. People were laughing at him. I want people to laugh with me. And so no, there's some people that come on here and just share some stories that made me realize, my life wasn't that bad. And and I'll probably have that same feeling here with you today based on my notes here that you helped me create with your bullet points. But I guess let's start into it, bro. Let me just drink some water here.
Hydrate. Always gotta hydrate.
Oh yeah, it gets hot in here, bro, and I can't even have the AC or the fan on.
I knew you were telling me about that. I was gonna ask you, what the hell are you doing, dude? You live in where the hell are you at, in a box somewhere?
It technically is a box, bro, with the bathroom. And this microphone is very sensitive, and it'll pick up the AC. It'll pick up the dude. It picks up the train down the street, and sometimes even a plane.
Mine, you may hear the train in the background.
Yeah,
we're really close. I'm about 3 streets over from a train, so
it's across the street, literally. It's
I
so
used to do that too.
This one picks up planes, so yeah,
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, let's get to know Pete here. Pete, besides the podcast, you have any other hobbies?
Yeah, man, I'm a big video gamer. I play a lot of Overwatch 2 and stuff like that with my wife. It's kind of nice. You know, I got her addicted when we were dating. I watch a lot of anime, watch a lot of movies. You know, I love movies, man. Like, movies are my biggest passion of all, man. Always been a big fan. You know, I love anything Kevin Smith makes. Like, honestly, dude, I love everything that dude does. It's so great, you know.
So we've been showing the kids, they're teenagers now, so it's like, okay,
you show them Clerks.
Now you can kind of show them like better movies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had them watch the first Jackass. They were not a fan of it. My 16-year-old was like, Dad, there was only 2 funny parts in that movie. The panda scene and whatever other scene that I forgot he said he was. He said, Dad, this movie's stupid. It's not even funny. So all disappointed, so I take it you don't want to watch part 2? He's like, there's a 2? There's a part 2? I'm like, yeah, there's a part 2. She's like, no, I do not want to watch part 2. I'm like, damn it. Okay, well, worth a shot. And then a couple weeks ago, I had them watch the old school La Bamba. Mm-hmm. And, the movie's going good. It's only the last 3 minutes of the movie where you freaking, oh my God. Guys, we told you he was going to die. You guys knew he was going to die.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
Dude, it was a good movie, though. I mean, I love that movie. La Bamba was great. Selena was a good one, too. My wife watches that one all the time. God, what is it?
When we watched Selena, the TV show on Netflix, dude, like you're watching it and you're like, it's like you want history to change, bro. Like, no, don't go to the hotel. You don't go to the hotel, please. Like you're begging her not to go to. Yeah, no, it's gonna happen. She's gonna go to the hotel.
She's like, fuck, it's already over. Never mind. Here it goes. Damn it.
Yeah,
man. Like I watch a lot of movies though. Like I said, like I watch movies. I binge watch a lot of TV, but most of the time I'm usually podcasting, dude. Like honestly, this thing's I'm booked up to December.
Nice.
I'm almost out to 2026 with people just lining up to be on it. And mind you, when I tell you December, I'm talking about some days I have 4 to 5 interviews I'm doing per day.
Wow.
Because I'm bulk recording them now, and then I'm slowly releasing them as I'm working on right now. But it's been an adventure ever since
the thing with me is that and I've said it multiple times, to me this is just a hobby. So the farthest I record is a week in advance. So that's the farthest I go, and I'm only doing it because I was talking to my sponsor and he was like, hey, well, can you kind of like, because the thing with me is record, post, post, record, post. So I'm like, okay, you know what, man, this is what I'll do then. I'll give it a week. And then, because he likes for me to promote the episode on the Instagram and tag him, and we kind of help each other with his followers and stuff like that. So kind of get streams and shit. So I'm okay. I get what you're saying with that. So yeah, the most I'll do is a week, and then I told people in the beginning earlier that I would have I think I said like 6 weeks straight of podcasting, because like I said, bro, it's just as a hobby, man. I didn't the last episode I recorded was back in April up until 4 weeks ago. And so I have 2 more podcasts, 2 more guests lined up. And after that, do I want to start scheduling more, give it a break or whatever? But I enjoy doing this. Like I said, I'm doing it while the family's still sleeping. So it's not really cutting into family time. I have a buddy of mine that gets all bent out of shape. Man, you go to bed early instead of like playing games. I'm like, sorry, man. I'd rather go to bed. And during the week, especially during the week, man.
Trader, you're not playing with us anymore.
Yeah, no, dude. Seriously. Hey, you want a zombies? Dude, it's 7:30, bro. I'm going to bed. He called me one day at 7:31 to see if it was true. 7:31. My phone was already down, bro. And he calls me the next day. You're fucking serious, Andy? You went to bed at fucking 7:30? Yeah, bro. It's called discipline. Discipline. I'm disciplined. I try my best to not rely on coffee. Did I have a coffee yesterday? Yes. From Starbucks? Yes, because it was pumpkin spice. I'm a basic bitch. I did it. I drank.
I was waiting for you to say it. So you said pumpkin spice. I'm like, he's going to say it. Yep. Here it comes.
Yep.
I'm a basic bitch.
I'm a basic bitch.
Oh, no. Andy didn't say it.
Yes, I am.
Yep. Yeah, I get that.
And secretly, you're drinking coffee out of that one. A pumpkin spice latte, I believe you. Anyways, so I'm just disciplined with my time. And so if I can't go and hang out with people, if I can't go and do, I'm sorry, my sleep comes first. We're not getting any younger, so hey, I got to get my sleep. So yeah, I go to bed at 7:30, like I said right now, but I wake up early, and here we are recording. The family, even though it's 5:30 here, the family is still sleeping. And yeah, we go from it is what it is, man. And then okay, so like I said, point of that is, will I continue? I probably will. It's just like pretty much once I record the last episode, then I'll start promoting it on Instagram or TikTok and say, hey, I have spots available. Who's down? And then go from there. And okay, so real quick, we talked about your hobbies. You play gaming. I want to say what got you into your podcast, but that's part of your story, so we're gonna hold off on that. Job. I mean, you don't have to get into do too many details about what you do for a living. But
I work at a gas station all night, man. Let me tell you, the things that you see and the people you meet, it's just like you would think people make up these stories of shit that happens. Like, I can't tell you how many different crackhead or somebody drunk or somebody just whacked out something comes in doing something wild every night. It's just like, yeah,
I'm in.
it gets interesting.
I work in sales I sell beer, and I have a multiple gasoline stations, and every day you see somebody out there. One day I'm like, hey, can I use your restroom? And they're like, hold on. And I'm like, well, why? Well, okay. I mean, I didn't question it. Okay, I'll hold on. And then I went, okay, you can go in. Bro, she sprayed it with her body spray because she said the person before me stunk it up. I'm like, okay. No, not in that way. Just the fact that they let them use the restroom, but they don't shower on a daily basis. So
yeah, ours are not like that small. We're fairly bigger brand of a station. So we have the bigger bathrooms, real nicer ones and things like that too. And you know, but we see weird shit all night, dude. Like we have the cops coming in and out all night. You know, we had people almost get shot in the parking lot type things. You know, you just see the weird, craziest shit ever. And it's funny because I did a podcast originally before I started doing this one. I did one called Pete's Corner Store, and I literally was telling stories of things that happened. And we were talking about one girl who went completely crazy. Like when I tell you, Andy, she went nuts, bro. She went crazy. She literally was like tripping out the night before, then came back in the next night, was acting really strange. And then all of a sudden, 4:00 in the morning, we make breakfast in my location. So we just kind of, you know, I was in the kitchen making the breakfast. I look over to my right. She's right there. Come back, look to my right again. She comes over and he goes, well, I have to leave. Doesn't say anything else. Disappears, okay? Oh, no, it gets better. Okay, so 6:00 in the morning, you know, somebody comes in, finding it's like, where was she at? I don't know. She left all her stuff here. I have no clue. I'm trying to do this, trying to watch that. And apparently there's an IHOP next door to where we're at in our location. So she's coming from behind IHOP, muttering to herself. So now she's trying to convince you to go with her across the street to where the grocery store is, because there's a plane that's going to land because the birds told her so. And I'm like, what the hell?
Well,
bro, I am telling you, it is the craziest shit you've ever heard. And then like when she came back in the building, I was in the back, my boss is back. We're all looking at each other. She's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's up? I didn't say anything. Like, it's like the tension was so thick. I was like, oh shit, here we go. It's going to happen.
I'm not going to have Pete deny or confirm this, but this sounds like a fucking article. All right, on to the next. What do you call it? You know what? Actually, yesterday I listened to one of your podcast episodes with the loudmouth therapist lady.
Oh, yeah, the swearing therapist. Oh, my God, that lady was great, bro.
It was a great episode. But what caught my attention out of that whole episode, what is the problem with you and the Dallas Cowboys, bro?
Okay. First off, diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan.
This guy. No, I'm going to cut the podcast. Cut the podcast.
Jerry Jones and his fantastic work as of now, you know, trading Micah Parsons away, said that it was better for the team. I mean, should we continue? We go with your team owner and how bad he is.
Check this out.
Don't get me started on the Chicago Cubs either, because that'll be a whole nother tangent of Pete.
I'm watching the documentary on Netflix, right? And the moment this shit happened with the trade, I start getting bombarded with text messages and shit like that, and I'm like, fuck, man. And now I'm educated more. I was a kid back in '89. I was a kid. So I'm pretty much watching the Super Bowl 92, 93, or 93, 94 Super Bowl for the very first time because I didn't see it as a kid. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm watching the story, and I'm like, son of a bitch, this guy did the same exact thing in 1989. It is now 2025, bro. Get with the fucking times. And people hated on him because he got rid of the coach for 29 years. Same coach for 29 years. Then he traded like a badass fucking player for three first round picks or something like that. And now he did it again with Parsons. Get rid of him for 2-round picks, homie. This trade better get us to Super Bowl because this is 30 years of fucking bullshit. Everybody asked me, how come you show no emotion? I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
That's what you tell them, right? I like to say, I'd like to tell them, they're just used to disappointment, so it's okay.
I told the wife, sorry, babe, I'm gonna tell you from day one. I'm loyal, and I won't show emotions. And she's like, why? I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. She had no idea what that was, bro. She had no idea what that was.
My wife doesn't either. She doesn't understand football as much. She'll watch it with me and stuff. You know, we watched. You know, since we've been dating, the Chiefs have won the 2 back-to-backs. You know, we were watching them at my brother-in-law's house, man. and they're all talking shit because they're all Cowboy fans, and they're all just jaw jacking. And funny thing, my whole family is all Cowboy fans too. So this year is going to be real interesting because you got to get another scenario. Thanksgiving is going to be interesting because Pete, he's going to start razzling them up pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. I started telling myself I'm gonna start sending you all the final countdown by Europe, and just start sending it to you so y'all can hear it as we start counting down the days to the Thanksgiving's ass whooping.
My wife knew that I was a football fan. She knew that.
Yeah.
She didn't find out that I was a football fan until the day that the Cowboys lost to the Packers, and it was not a catch. Because when that game ended, she came in. I was in a corner. We were at a party, and I had a buddy of mine. He was in one corner of the room. I was in the other corner watching the game on our phone. And when she came up to me, she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. It is what it is. Another fucking year." She goes, "No, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She goes, "Babe, you're crying." I'm like, "What are you fucking talking about?" She goes, "You're crying," and I'm like, "Holy shit, I am fucking crying."
Yeah, she knows I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. Like, I watch every game. Any game that's on TV, I've always got my phone or something. I've got actually a projector in my living room. So, I watch them on there all the time, too. She said, "Oh, great, it's Sunday, Like, what are they playing? What time do they play? Okay." And I'm out there watching the game and stuff, too. And if I fall asleep or something, because, I work until Sunday mornings a lot of times. So, like, sometimes I'm tired and I'll nod off a little bit. "You're not even watching the game." I'm like, whatever, dude. Leave me alone. I'm tired. I've been up all damn night. I don't want to hear nothing about this.
Dude, last season, when I told my wife, I'm like, "Oh, the Chiefs are playing." And I think it was like in the playoffs. And she's like, "Wait. She was confused. She was, "There's still football going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, the Chiefs are in the playoffs." And she's like, "Since when?" I'm like, "Well, this season." She was confused. I'm telling you. She goes, "I thought football was over." I'm like, "What? Why do you say that?" Because you haven't been watching. And I showed her the Cowboys score, the record, and she's like, "Oh, that's why you're not watching." Bingo! Tell her what you want, Johnny.
Right? Like, yeah.
And so
I'm glad you enjoyed that part of it, because let me tell you, where I work, these Cowboy fans come in, we banter back and forth. It is the greatest experience ever. Even my boss is a Cowboys fan, so oh, look, you got another one there. I like to trick a lot of them too. Go, "Hey, listen, you got something on your shirt." They like got their Cowboy shirt on, and "Hey, you got a little shit on your shirt. You need to smudge that off." And they start wiping their shirts and shit.
I got a tattoo back in 2009. It was a small little helmet, bro. Small little helmet. I got it in Venice Beach. And then in 2020, I decided that's the past, because of who bought it for me, right? Who paid for it? I'm like, that's the thing of the past. Now it's time to upgrade. And then so when people say, "Hey, you're a Cowboy fan," I showed them my tattoo, and they're like, "Were you drunk?" I'm like, "No, it was COVID."
Right.
They're like, I'm like, "Hey, this tells you that I'm a true Cowboy fan because I got a tattoo after 24 years of them sucking." So, I mean, I'm a Cowboy fan. So,
that's okay. Cubs fans were used to not having a ring for a while until they finally won the World Series. So that's okay. It's similarity. It makes sense.
It happens. But I guess let's get started with your main topic, bro. Your main podcast, your main hobby is your podcast. So, what started the podcast?
Listen, a lot of people ask me that question too, man. Like I started, like I said, I had Pete's Corner Store first. It was my first podcast. I was messing around with it a little bit, had a couple friends. First season was just me solo. Second season was me and another person. Okay. So then the conversations really got interesting really quick. So season 3, we get into, we brought a third person in, try and mix up the conversation a bit. And we got to the topic of men's mental health. And I think that's where it started. The whole thing was like, after you really look into statistics that 80% of men commit suicide, 50% of the population are men, and we're losing a men at an alarming rate. In the age range of where I'm at, I'm the second most likely to. I was like, damn, why are we not talking about this? So we all had a falling out. I ended up taking a break for a month, and my wife's like, well, you should wait. You shouldn't start this thing. I was like, no, I want to do this. I'm going to figure this out, whatever. So I was sitting there one day, and we had gotten to a disagreement about something. I don't remember what it was, but she normally responds with a lot of anger, but she didn't say anything. But I started yelling, screaming for no reason. And I've always had mental health issues, never really realized that's what it was. Like my mom abandoned me when I was 10. So kind of there's a lot of the ripple effect was coming from that, moment. So one day it was just we had a disagreement, and then however she responded just hit me like, whoa, I need to get some help for this problem. So I started doing my own therapy. I went to do therapy, been doing therapy for a while. And I was just sitting there one day, I was thinking, I still want to do a podcast. I really want to do something different. So what else can I do? I'm like, let's go do mental health, because the men's one was still sticking with me, 80% of us. So I'm like, okay. So I went and looked up the topic to see what's out there, dude. And there's all these doctors. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. There's doctors telling you all this great advice, but where are the people just having a conversation? So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I was looking at the original logo for the show was a picture I sent to my wife of me just doing some goofy thing she had stylized for me. And then it just hit me, Pete versus anxiety, because I have anxiety and I battle my anxiety every single day, and then it became more of a, let's break the stigma that mental health is talked about enough, because I still don't think it's talked about enough. I don't care what people say, it's not talked about enough. No matter what you say, nobody's really talking about it a lot. Like they're having conversations, doctors are, that's great. These celebrities are, okay, great. But where the little guy in the world where we're having a conversation? So I ended up putting this idea out there, and I had no idea what was about to happen next, man. Like within 2 days of the show being even just presented to a Facebook group, I had 150 people lining up to want to be on this show. And I was like, holy shit. Okay, well, maybe I got something here, and then I didn't start booking anybody. I started doing some audio recordings actually at first. I had some very interesting ones. I had a Columbine shooting survivor,
Oh, wow.
and a bunch of other different ones, like an international best-selling authors and things like that, And in the process, I got offered to be a part of a network. This guy had reached out to me. He was saying all these great things. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, listen, is this real? So I took the meeting with him, and he's like, hey, listen, we're starting this network for podcasters. It's something new. Would you be interested in being a part of it? We'll pay for the program and everything, and all you have to do is commit to a weekly show. What's a good day of the week for you to do something? And I was like, okay, yeah. So while booking the show, I was already out to the end of the year. And mind you, we started September 15th. So we're close to the 1 year date of this show being concepted. So I was like, okay. So then we didn't have a lot of other shows on the network. So I was like, hey, can I open up another time slot, just see what happens? And he's like, yeah. So we're up to the end of the year again. I'm like, oh shit, there's a demand here, man. And then it's just taken off since then. Like, since I started this thing, it's like, it's no longer just holding safe space for people to talk about mental health. Can people share their stories and things like that? Because we've had some wild stories on the show. In fact, I can tell you guys right now, the most craziest fucking story I've ever had was the beginning of this year. A guy came on and told us that morning he was going to kill himself. He told us how he was going to do it.
Oh my God.
That he had the gun in his hand. He was sitting at the edge of the bed. And like, I do video ones. So like, if you watch the video, you can see he kind of at first is a real kind of fidgety about something. And then it comes out that 30 minutes in or so, he goes into how he lost his friend to suicide, and he's all shook up about it. And he's like, yeah, I was sitting at the edge of the bed this morning. I had the gun in my hand, and I was thinking about taking my life right before this interview. But he's like, I decided not to. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just because, I was supposed to be here today to share this. And he just went like right into it, circles around back to it, goes away from it again. And I'm just like, oh shit, because I've never dealt with it to this point, and I've had all these other interviews, where we've brought up the issue. Suicide's been talked about before, but this guy's literally talking about he was going to kill himself that morning. I was like, holy fuck. I'm like, what do we do? And so after the episode finished, I had about 15 emails from people in different messages. All these, oh my God, is he okay? Oh my God, is he okay? I'm like, yeah, actually he's doing really well, and a lot of people, when it comes to suicide, need to understand those. If somebody is talking to you about it, listen to what they're saying, man, because just listening can be so impactful for them. And if you have a friend that's kind of hinting at things, what I learned from somebody recently, a trained professional in this area, I think she said that you should just ask them, listen, hey, are you considering committing suicide? Just to get them to think about it, because asking that question will jolt them to be like, oh, hold on, wait, am I really considering this kind of thing? And it's always a touchy subject, man. No matter whenever that one comes up, it's like you always have to put the trigger warning in front, because if not, people are just going to start freaking out like Godzilla's going to crush Tokyo, bro.
Yeah.
It's that topic, and it's narcissism is the other one that really caught big. We had another episode with that. People are like, I had to stop in 30 minutes in, Pete. I couldn't finish the interview. I had to take a break because it was so intense, because it hit home so hard.
Sorry, I cut you off real quick. I listened, and I say this multiple times. I listened a lot to Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, the guy that played Lex Luthor in Smallville. Mm-hmm. He was interviewing, I don't know his name. He was the actor in the Green Arrow TV show, and in the TV show Heels.
Yeah.
The first interview that he was in with Michael, dude, they had to stop the podcast. Michael had to stop the podcast because Homeboy had an attack while recording his episode, and so they had to, they cut off the episode, and then like pretty much like a week later or two they continued the conversation, and then that the actor said, dude, I gotta Google this. I have 3 monitors. Why am I not Googling it? The actor did say, it's like, hey, thank you for having me back on. But I really need to share my story. So yeah, dude, it was like this guy you see on TV just had like a freaking, like, I'm watching Heels right now when I ride my bike in the garage. That's what I watch, and you would never, you would never assume that this is what's going on. I'm barely on season 2, episode like.
Okay, so let's stop right there, Andy. What you just said there, you said you would never know these people are doing these things. And I think that's the great thing about the show is, though, that you discovered that a lot of people you may see every day, you don't realize what they're dealing with. Like, for instance, there's a band called Haunter. The girl that's the lead singer, Lucy Lenore. Now, mind you, these guys have 600,000 downloads plus. You know, never knew this woman even experienced BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. You didn't even know anything about it. What this woman struggles with every single day. And the way Lucy explained it to us was, you know, hey, I question who I am every single day. But, you know, when it comes to those things, every person that you get in front of you that has it, they'll tell you something totally different. So, like, at this point, it's like, you know, I'm more fascinated because I'm like, hey, listen, if you have this, reach out. I want to know what your experience is. And you just start going through these things, you know. And you never know what people are dealing with at all. And it's crazy when you start to find out, like, deep under the surface, what a lot of people are dealing with.
Yeah. Well, let's dive deep into Pete. Pete, how was your childhood, man?
Oh, well, you know, as I touched on a little bit, I was abandoned as 10 years old. My mom and I had got into it. I don't remember exactly what we got mad about. But she literally, when I tell you, this woman took me to my dad's house, dropped me off, and left me there by myself outside his apartment for an hour by myself at 10 years old. So it was a little rocky because my parents used to fight a lot when we were kids when they were together. And then when they divorced, it was, I stayed with my mom at first. And it was still rocky too because my mom was very big narcissist. She kind of liked to control everything. She's very abusive too. Like, I could tell you countless times, like, where she just beat the tar out of me. I mean, there's some times where she beat the shit out of me so bad she stomped on me. Like, you would have think that she was trying to put out a fire and I was on fire. She was stomping on me that kind of bad, you know, and things like that too. And eventually, like I said, when she dropped me off, I think that's when that point I just said, "Fuck it, I'm done. I just can't do this anymore." And I refused to go back because she, you know, mind you that I guarantee this probably shouldn't have been said to me, but my parents, like, always had a pissing contest back and forth. You know, my mom would be mad at my dad, say nasty things about him. My dad say something about her, you know, and then it came out that she was mad because she didn't get child support from anywhere. So she wanted me to come back home because, you know, she was on. And I was like, no, I'm done. That's it. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to be there, you know, and I was, you know, by myself for a little bit. So it was like, it was very, like, it's very traumatizing. And I've spent a lot of time alone, which, you know, kind of is how I am now. I'm kind of like, I like to be a homebody because I was always so by myself, always had to defend for myself. Like, there were adults present here and there, but my dad was never really home. He was always working. And then his, like, girlfriend, whoever that was at the time, would just be there to check in on me every so often when they're there, kind of thing. So it was rough, man. It was rough. And we still don't have a great relationship now. She wants to have a relationship. I think the hardest part I'm dealing currently with is the forgiveness. Like, I did an episode recently with somebody that I have not released yet, but it turns into a therapy session and we get deep into the whole conversation about what it is that's causing me not to be able to get over the fact I can't forgive the fact of what she did and how she abandoned me and everything, because it caused such a ripple effect. Yeah. You know, a lot of anger issues and things like that.
The forgiveness part, when I was seeing my therapist, every week, every month when I saw him, he would say, "Hey, have you forgiven your mother?" And I would say, no. And he, like, every time he brought it up, like, no. And he would see that I would get, like, upset. No.
Yeah.
And then so one day, the last time he asked me I said, I repeated what my siblings were going through, and for me that was a trigger because of what I went through. You would think that after so many years of what you put us through and it backfired on you, that you would change your ways with the younger, because the way we see it is we have two sets of siblings. We have the ones that were born in the 80s, and we have the ones that were born in the mid 90s to early 2000s. So that's the two, because there's 12 of us, bro. There's 12 of us. So my thing was like this. Okay, so the same thing that happened to us 80s babies is happening to the freaking 90s babies. It's like, or the 2000s babies, and like nothing's changed. So after that conversation, he pretty much said, okay, I get what you're saying. He stopped asking me. He stopped asking me. And this is the part why it was very hard for me to forgive, because I knew it would bite me in the ass. So come Mother's Day of 2018. See, I fucking remember, man. Mother's Day of 2018, I called her and I said, Happy Mother's Day. I have not said that in years, bro. In years. Happy Mother's Day. And thank you and blah, blah, blah. She was on the fucking podcast. She came down and was on the podcast. And we were cool. We'll go visit her, blah, 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 back and forth, back and forth. She'll come over here. She'll bring the siblings. Well, whatever, bro. I would take my siblings to go play basketball, baseball, whatever, tennis. Yeah. And we would hang out with them. And then look where we are now. Back at this bullshit all over again. Andy this, Andy that. Fuck Andy. Nah. So then I go back. That's why I never fucking wanted to forgive her in the past. Because here we are again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So no, I honestly, dude, my advice to you is, sorry to say, but hold on to that forgiveness as much as possible, because I'm giving bad advice. Sorry, I'm giving bad advice, but I'm speaking from a personal experience. It's just how you feel, man. It's like, you're not wrong. You got your own opinions about things. Like, your situation is different from mine. You know what I mean? Like your mom just kept going back to that thing, and for me, it's just, I know she wants to build a relationship, but I think right now, the hardest part is just all the ripple effect of things that she's caused for me. I just, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to get over that wall. It just keeps extending, and I don't want to give away much, but the episode, when it comes out, it'll be with Julian. Julian and I are talking, and and me and him, I get into a fucking deep conversation. Like, we get into like some deep shit, because I don't really talk much about myself usually. This is new to me, talking more about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do more now, but before I did in the beginning. Everybody was wondering more about myself, and I'm going to write a memoir eventually, just sharing all the other deep, dark secrets and things. It's called Voice of the Voiceless. I haven't even started writing it yet, honestly. It's one of those things I keep putting off. I have too many other projects I'm trying to do right now. But, I get it, man. Like I said, your mom's situation is different than my mom's situation and things like that. So you're not wrong for feeling that way, because you're like, look, here we go. I'm right back into the same bullshit again. So, I mean, you're not giving out bad advice. You're just how you feel, man. That's all it is. My wife's like, how much more longer do you have to put yourself through this shit before you realize, like, dude, your kids are done tired and seeing you cry over your mom, dude. Enough. Yeah. Like, so I accepted it at 40 that my mom doesn't love me. That's it. I've accepted it. It is what it is. Yeah. So no, man, I get that. Like I said, So yeah, let's get back to enough about me, man. Earlier you said child support. That means your parents divorced, right? So how was that? Yeah. How did you take the divorce? How did that affect you? You know what? I think out of all my siblings, I was the only one that wasn't really fazed by it, because I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen. They argue all the time, and yell this and that, back and forth. You always constantly hear them yelling. So none of us wanted to be home, but the moment they sat us all down and told us, my brother, he's younger than me, he cried. My sister, who's now my brother, cried as well. And I just said nothing. And then they thought something was wrong with me because I didn't respond. And, like, honestly, I was just tired of hearing all the fucking arguing. It was just too much, man. They just kept going and back and forth. It's like, when is this shit going to end? And then eventually it was, it got really interesting after a while, because it turns out my mom was leaving in the middle of the night, going to see seeing the guy that she's with now. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. And left us home alone. My dad's at work, but my dad, on the other hand, he was over there doing his own thing too. So it's not like he wasn't. These guys. That's like, Jesus, y'all are just some messy ass people. Shit. Yeah. You said you had seven siblings? 7 siblings. Yep. 5 sisters, 2 brothers. Oh, damn. You guys got overpowered. Yeah. How was that dynamic? It's honestly a mixed family. Yeah. So like 2 of them are from my dad and his previous marriage, and then my stepmom brings in the other 2 girls,
And then I have my younger sister my mom had with her boyfriend. And then there's the original three of us, which is me, my brother, and my sister, who's now my brother too. So he's transgender. So, but yeah, it's a big family, man. And it's kind of interesting because my stepbrother is actually one of my sponsors for the show. Like, everybody can't see it. There's a screen that's behind me. I usually have it set up, but that he sent me like a full setup of screen with the lights and everything else and all that kind of stuff like that. He's the one that actually did the logo for the show too. He refreshed my logo.
That's
And was
awesome.
like, here, check this out. Da, da, da. He actually messaged me on my anniversary. He was like, here, I got something for you. Da, 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 this. Okay, well, I'm going to send you something else. It's funny because we don't talk a lot like that.
You know what? My brother too. When we reconnected and he started listening to the podcast, I was like, oh shit. I told my wife, oh fuck, he's listening to the podcast. He's gonna hear some shit. He's gonna get pissed off again. He actually told me, he's like, hey man, you got to get better at interviewing people. You got to ask better questions. You got to ask follow-up questions. And hey, bro, that logo, bro, I really think you should change that logo. I'm like, but I made that logo with these fucking hands, like, and
it gets easier, man, when it comes to interviewing people. I'm at, like, God, I don't even know where I'm at now. What do they say? They say in 2 years, most podcasters get over like 200 interviews. I've done at least over 150 within the first 7 months of this show. And I'm losing count somewhere in there too, because there is like some I've done before. I even did full video interviews and things like that too, man. But it gets easier every time you hit click and go and things like that too, man. It's always, you never know what your conversation's going to turn into.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that watch my show go like, they love the fact that I'm just so mellow with things. I'm like, it's just easy to talk to people now. And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, I was nervous as fuck. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I could do this.
Yeah, same here.
You know what I mean? Especially having some of these people on, and people that have been more successful than me. I've had more successful top like in the top 1% to 5% podcast hosts on my show that I could even tell you from, even if I even would have told you in the beginning I would have done that, they would have been crazy. I even had my first global bestseller on a couple weeks ago. She was so fucking cool though, man. And and I've also got one of my top 5 guests was actually Dr. Jen. She runs a podcast called Shrink with a Mic. She came on the show, man, and I found her. I followed her video originally when I started doing the podcast because I was researching like BPD and things like that. And she was the first video I seen. And I told her that when I interviewed with her, I was like, Dr. Jen, I got to tell you, it's so cool you're here because you're the same person in the video, And she's like, oh my God, that's so nice. And this woman's telling me she's flattered by how excited I am for her to be there. I'm like, oh, is this real? Somebody fucking pitched me, man. Like, shit. But I've accomplished so much in the first year of the show, dude. It's insane. Like, and everybody, like, a lot of people mention me on different podcasts here, like, oh yeah, Pete for Anxiety mentioned you. So that's why I'm here. And like, you can go any place to these guests I gave you names of. I'm like, hey, go check out this person. Let them know Pete for Anxiety sent you. I guarantee you're going to get a yes more likely than no.
Right.
Every time, just because it's just like I get such a great rapport with certain people, and it's just like, some of these people I have a great time with and things like that too. And a lot of them I still talk to. I have a little podcasting group on Instagram now I use that we all share guests in there because we're all a part of the same site called Podmatch, where we, they give you a little kickback for, doing these interviews, but you get some like really top quality people though. But you get like the full profile reads and things like that too. But it's nice thing is though that people want to come after you too. Like, hey Andy, I want to be on your show. And it's so good because in the first year, not even the first year, but since January, I've got like 258 different messages that have been somebody's either pitched me or I pitched them.
Yeah.
And it's so great, that feeling when people are like, hey, listen, I've seen your show. I want to be on it. And then they're trying to sell it to you. It's like, oh, this is so nice. I don't have to try and sell this to you. You're selling it to me now. Okay, cool. I like how these tables turn a little bit. All right, cool.
I was on TikTok live right before you came on because I was, like I said, testing my machine because I don't know why, but it's been acting up. So I think I need a new memory card. So right when you said, hey, I'm ready, I was like, oh shit, the memory card took a shit. So I had a lady on watching the live, and she's like, oh, what's your podcast about? And I kind of give her a little brief summary of it. And she was like, oh, I have some people that might want to be on your show. I'm like, hey, shoot them my way.
TikTok's great, man. That's where I found a lot of people in the beginning of the show. Facebook and TikTok were my main sources for most of my guests. Facebook had a lot of really good groups. That's where I ran into the 2-time international bestseller, Melissa Kim Corder. She came on the show. She's been on twice now. And I've met a lot of other people, though. But Yeah, I think that's where my biggest following though is TikTok. I almost got almost 4,000 people on there.
Nice.
Why they follow me, I have no fucking clue, but they following me.
Yeah.
So like I go into most of these rooms and people know who I am. They're like, "Oh, Pete for anxiety, da da da," you know, and everybody's talking about it, and it's so surreal though, man, because they're talking about you. They're like, "Oh shit!" Like when I heard myself on a fucking podcast for the first time, I was like, "Holy fuck, are they talking about me, bro?" Like,
that's funny.
man, you know, because the girl that interviewed, it's called Mentally a Badass. Justine Rhodes is the one that runs that podcast. She and a friend of mine, Melissa Hepner, who runs Emotionally Unavailable, dude. If you get, I got to see about getting you on that one, bro. You'll have a fucking blast with her. So the two of them met. Okay, I've hosted Justine and I've been on Melissa's show. Okay, these two have no idea I know each other. So about 10 minutes near the end of the episode, she goes, "Hey, listen, do you know a guy named Pete versus Anxiety?" And Melissa goes, "Oh my God, yeah, I know Pete. I love him. He was on the show." She goes, "Yeah, I was on his show too." And I'm just like, "Oh fuck, they're talking about me. Somebody pinched me right now. What the hell is going on here?" I literally went back and listened to that clip like 10 times the same day. And somebody's like, "Are you still listening to yourself?" I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to my name being said. Fuck you, okay? All right, I'm being mentioned on a podcast. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
So it's been so great though.
That's awesome, bro. That's great. Like I said, I don't. It sounds like even though you've only done this for a little bit over a year, you're more dedicated to this than I am. Like I said, to me, my mentality, if I put it in my head that this is a hobby, it's a hobby. You know, it's a hobby.
I'd love for this to pay. I make some kind of monetization off my audio now.
I do see that when your podcast starts, it starts off with an actual like commercial from Spotify.
Not anymore. Now it doesn't. Now when I switch to Riverside, I got to figure out how to put it back in there. But yeah, I had the original commercial talking about my Team Anxiety Facebook group, which has all like all the episodes that aren't dropped right away go in there for people to see.
Yeah.
So if you're part of that Facebook group, you can get to see the episodes where anybody else does. That's the exclusivity of it. And things like that too. But I'm on everything though, man. Yeah. I'm like TikTok all the way down to X. I'm on Spotify all the way down to iHeartRadio. So I'm everywhere possible to be seen, like Rumble, YouTube, all them other things. I'm checking everything out, any avenues I can, because I'm like, I want to try and get monetized, because I'd love to do the show full time. And, you know, I have tons of other ideas that I'm working on too. There's a few other side projects I'm working on too, but I just love it, man. It's something I just love doing. That's like great, because I get to meet new people all the time. And every conversation is a new opportunity to have a new person to add to your book of people that you could tap on if you need something. Like, hey, listen, I got a question for you. This falls in your category, you know, and things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great, bro. That is great. But let's get back on track here, buddy. Real quick.
You took me off track.
Huh?
I said you took me off track. So.
I did. I asked a question and I'm like,
No, all right, let's go. Let's go back on track. Randy gets us out of trouble now. Come on now.
Yeah, dude, you're right. Now, so as the teenager, man, what challenges did you face as you grew up after your mom left?
You know, as a teenager, man, the hardest part was like I moved a lot as a teenager, man. I had changed I went to 3 different schools. So like my freshman year, I was somewhere like junior high. I was with a lot of my friends I was in elementary school with, and then I left and went to another town for my freshman year of high school, and then I left there and went to where I ended up staying though. And the hardest part was like just making friends, because it's like you go to somewhere new, you don't know anybody, and things like that too. And I was already, you know, dealing with the fact that my mom is kind of in and out of my life here and there, you know, and I was a very angry kid. You know, and when I eventually made it to where we were the last time, I think the hardest part was just dealing with everything in general, because it's like you're all alone. You know, I have all these siblings, but I don't ever see half of them half the time. You know, and it's rarely I see any of them. At this point, you know, in my teenagers, my brother is already in the military, so he's gone most of the time anyways. My younger brother lives with my mom. And I hardly ever see him except for like when he randomly comes to visit my dad for visitation and things like that. But after that, we have zero communication. Like we don't talk at all. And I spend most of my times by myself until I made a nice core group of friends. And then I finally started being a little more social. But that was the hardest part though. It's like you have to move a lot. So it's hard to make friends. And then it's like, you know, when you go to this new town, then you're a new person in town, then you don't know anybody and everybody else knows each other. You feel like the outcast, man. And it's what it felt like for a while. It was like, I'm the outcast. I don't know people. Like nobody knows me. Everybody went to school at some point together, and it's just like you just feel so alone because it's like, you feel like you don't know what to say to these people. You're like that new kid in the movie. Every time you show up in a school, people are wondering who you are and things like that too.
Yeah.
So
So I'm assuming your friends were your support group.
yeah, they were, honestly, man. We grew up in a real small town. I had one friend I've known for like 25 plus years now. We still talk all the time, and things like that too. And anytime he needs something, he's called me a couple times where he's thought about jumping off the roof of the house he was at.
Oh man.
It was just typical high school stuff, man. Like I had one friend, he went through a real hard time with his dad. Him and his dad, like you watch the two and just argue all the time. So I'd always have to be like peacemaker amongst everybody. So that was my job. I was the peacemaker amongst everybody's group. So like anytime something went down and everybody was having a disagreement, they're calling Pete to come in to save it. So it was like, ugh. It was, and I didn't realize how emotionally draining it was at the time either. Now I realize how bad it was because I was just like, I was so depressed most of the time that most people didn't ask how I was doing because everybody was worried about their own problems.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, man. How do you think those early struggles influenced the kind of person you became as a young adult?
I think it didn't influence me in a good way. I think it was a bad way because I had considered killing myself a few times when I was a kid. I thought about it, because I was so depressed. Like, you got to remember, I'm taking on everybody else's energies. I'm big in energy now, but I realized what was happening is that I'm an empath as well. So, like, everybody's emotions I take on so much, and I was physically draining myself. It was rough, man. It wasn't easy. I don't think until I got into my 20s is where I start to realize that, I got to change something.
Yeah.
Or something's got to start changing. I had to change it. I literally left the state I grew up in because I'm from Chicago originally, and I moved to Texas when I was about 19. And I think that was that point where I was like, I got to get away from this because where I'm going is not leading on a good path for me.
Need auto insurance or an SR22? Like now, SolarX Insurance gets you covered fast. No license, no problem. We speak your language, shop the best rates, and get you back on the road today. Call 877-736-4719. That's 877-736-4719. Visit slxinsurance.com or call now 877-736-4719. Quick, easy, done. Solar X Insurance. Drive with confidence.
Oh man, yeah. I think that's the same thing that I have. Like they told my wife actually, said you need to get Andy out of Oxnard. I'm from Oxnard, California, where the Dallas Cowboys train, baby. Whoop whoop. I had to throw that in there, bro. Stop. Are you done?
You need to stop.
Hey Pete, thank you for coming back a week after the first recording. No,
right.
Right. He agreed to come back.
Are you cool down yet, Pete? No, fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah, no. And they told my wife, like, the lawyer told my wife, the child custody lawyer that we had, and then even my mother-in-law is like, you guys need to get Andy out of Oxnard because that's where all his like memories and triggers are at. Like, honestly, like we went to Oxnard recently, and the moment you see it over the mountain, over the hill, and you see it, it's like, in fact, my daughter hit me up and she's like, Dad, are you in Oxnard right now? I'm like, yeah, what's up? She goes, so is my mom. Get the fuck out of there.
That's awesome. Fun fact, my parents never stayed in the same state. My dad lives in Texas. My mom lives in Illinois. The only time the ever two were in the same state was for my brother's wedding. That was it. Other than that, she would never come and visit me at all.
Yeah.
Never. And I had kids, mind you, at the time. Finally, I eventually had kids. I had 3 daughters. I had one that was younger, and then I had twins. And she didn't meet her grandkids until the twins were born. And we went to my brother's wedding, and we happened to be staying at the same hotel. And we sat down for breakfast, and lo and behold, who comes and sits next down to us, doesn't even realize it. It's my mom sitting 2 feet away from me. And then, it was an awkward interaction at first because my daughter was like, Dad, who is that? I'm like, that's your grandmother over there. Can I go say hi to her? And like, you can't tell a kid no. It's like, so, she forced an interaction with us. And then, we tried to talk for a bit. And then it just wasn't working for me. I just, like I said, I was so bitter about everything. So, and it just, yeah, but it's crazy though, man. It really is how it is nowadays though.
So you had your kids now. So you're already a parent, you're married, you have your kids. What did fatherhood mean to you based on what you witnessed as a kid?
I was so excited for the first one. I know people, because I was 19 when I had my first daughter. I was so excited. Like, it's a great, everybody's like, you're excited. I'm like, yeah, why not be excited? Like, I created this life, now I get to teach them the things teach them things, watch them grow and everything else. It meant the world to me. It was great. I loved it. Me and the first mom had a lot of problems, and she eventually just took the kid and left. And she got adopted by her mom had married somebody else and had her adopted. And the way she did it, she was really fucking sneaky about how she did it. Because here in Texas, you have to like do that thing where you have to put in the paper that you're looking for somebody.
Right.
And like, who's reading the newspaper for that shit, honestly? So she got adopted, but she does know I exist. So that's the thing. So like, that's the first hurdle I'm dealing with. Now, the second one is that the baby mama 2 met mama 1 and then caused the friction there. So like they were just like, all that kind of shit like that. So baby mama 1 and 2 interacted because, one was saying something and the other one didn't like. So then it got ugly and, it just, but I loved it though. I was excited, man. When fatherhood came, I was so excited. I think that was the first time my mom and I really got into it after we were, since I was a kid, because I called and told her she was being grandma and she started screaming at me. You could literally hold the phone about 3 inches away and still hear her yelling. Screaming at me on the phone. You could hear her yelling that loud. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be, you what? You what? You could have told me sooner. No. I'm like, yeah, okay, listen, I called you. You should be glad that much at this point. After all this shit's going on, that's what you're worried about. Like, at least I'm here, I'm not running away from my problem, and things like that too. But it meant the world to me, man. It was great. I loved it. Even being a step parent now, like,
I saw that real quick. I saw that you adopted a child.
No, she's her dad and her mom, my wife and her dad are still the parents. We didn't adopt her, but she's still like basically like my own, man. She's my sidekick.
Kind of like
me and her are inseparable.
Kind of like Eminem, right? And his niece, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah, she's my sidekick now, man. Like she loves me to death, and that kid's great. Like, but it's interesting because it's not your own kid, so like you can't use the same principles you use with your kids.
Yeah.
Because mom didn't have the same views I do. My wife's very like, oh, let's talk to her about things. I was like, let's yell at him about things, So, but it's great because then I can try and do better than I did with my daughters with them. And I know it sounds fucked up, but at the same time, it's not like I love them any less. It's just I just was not a great person to be around with those kids, and I felt so bad, man. Like fuck. There's things that I did and said to those 4 kids that just like they didn't deserve any of that, and it was all because I was so angry.
Yeah,
and it was all because of the thing with, and their mom was a very big narcissist, so she'd end up like egging me on to make it look like I was worse than I was, because I was literally taking care of these kids and sleeping and things like that too. I wasn't sleeping, I was drinking a lot, and and things like that too, all going on, and then she'd egg you on. And she knew how to push those fucking buttons, man. And the narcissists will know how to do that too. They'll just start picking at you real good. That way they can make you look crazy to everybody else, and things like that too. So eventually it came down to she started gaslighting me and things like that, all that kind of shit. So it got ugly, man. But those poor kids, bro. God, I feel so bad for those kids. Like the things they had to go through, like, fuck, man. Like I said, I don't blame them for not wanting to talk to me right now. They're very upset with me still because they have a lot of issues they're dealing with, and I always denied anything I did. And I think that's the hardest part, is when you got to admit that you're wrong. It's the hardest fucking part to tell people that, especially your own kids. Like I'm sorry that you all had to experience that. Wasn't me. That was me, but that wasn't really me. That I've dealt with all these problems I should have handled a long time ago. So
that's one thing that. The reason why not the reason why I took therapy was my wife did tell me in the beginning we were dating. She was like, hey, you need to go see a therapist. You need to see a counselor. And I'm like,
yeah,
F no, man. I'm not doing that shit. And
yeah, but let me ask you a question though. Why did you feel like you didn't want to see one? Did you?
I honestly, I thought it was at the time maybe like a waste of money. And then I didn't understand. I didn't want to be put on medication. I didn't want to be told I was crazy.
I think that's a great point you just said.
Yeah.
Anyone listening, listen to what he just said. He just said, I didn't want to be put on medication. Did you know that's the number one response I get from most people is like, I don't want to be medicated. I don't want to be seen as crazy. Because, like, think about it, Andy. You start telling people I'm doing therapy. Like, you know, most people would just start bragging on you. Like, what are you doing there, man? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you? You know, guys, we just sit there and fuck with each other about it all day. But at the end of the day, it's more beneficial to you to understand how to deal with the trauma that you're dealing with and things like that, you know. But a lot of people didn't see it that way.
What got me to go was when I went to go hire the lawyer for child custody. And I'm giving the story of what I see going on and how I'm seeing my kids being raised, and when I'm not home, and CPS being called. CPS is literally there at the house, and my son has a bruise on his fucking back. I'm like, you're fucking here, man. And so I'm telling the lady all this stuff, and she's like, well, why is it that you want custody? And I said, I see my kids growing up the same way I did.
Yeah.
You need therapy. She told me right there and then, you need therapy. If you sign up to a therapist, if you sign up to go see a counselor, a therapist, then I will take your case. She gave me the name of the guy, and I went to go see him, and my wife's like, she looks at me, right? I'm like, I've been telling you for fucking years to go see a therapist. You barely met this lady.
Yeah, but it's hard, though, man. And you think about it, because, like, I could agree with you, man. I've been there. Like, I denied for so long I had a problem, but I had a short fuse just like my dad did.
Yeah.
You know, instead of addressing these problems, it was like they went through the same things my dad would took us through. Like, he'd start yelling, screaming, things like that, too. And I was very abusive towards them and verbally, too. And it's not just physical, guys. Verbal is also very abusive, too, you know. And it was just like, but at the same time, I was a single parent at the time, trying to raise 3 girls on my own. And doing it all and juggling everything like that. Because when their mom and I separated initially, she disappeared for 6 months. And now what she was doing, I have no clue. There's stories that go around.
Right.
I know that when we split up, she was cheating too. And apparently one of her friends found out and just like kind of faded off a little bit. And that should have been the first sign. But, you know, had that not happened, I don't think I would have met my best friend, Lewis. He lives in the California area. He's in Sacramento, actually. And Lewis and I, we talk every single day, dude. Me, him, and there's another guy I met through TikTok named Sean. The 3 of us, we always message each other every morning. Hey, what's up? Good morning. Or Sean and I go, good morning. Lewis and I talk all the time, though. But Lewis is the one that actually opened my eyes to what was going on. He's like, hey, bro, you need to look at the bullshit that's going on and see that these things, and it's the slightest things that you wouldn't think, you know, hey, she's wearing something a little different, or she's doing this a little different than what she normally do. Does she do that for you, or does she do that when she leaves the house? And, you know, and everybody that thinks that, like, you're just nitpicking shit. No, not really, man. Those are the signs that something's not right. If you a lot of times you can tell. And that's how I knew something wasn't right. Because, you know, like Lewis kept telling me, hey, man, play that shit back through your head and think about what it is. And he's like, you didn't get it? Listen, hey, fuckhead, listen here. And he's just like yelling at you like, hey, bro, I told you this is what the fuck it is. I've been trying to tell your ass, but you ain't listening. But he's stubborn, too, in his own way, too. But,
right.
You know, but yeah.
Yeah, those were some of the signs that I found at the end. Like, I was like, yeah, she's not going to work. So when she got home, my bags were packed, and the moment I didn't leave at night because the kids were there. The moment she got home, she walked in, she saw my 2 bags on the floor, and she's like, oh shit, yep. We need therapy, we need counseling. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Deuces. I'm out.
And that's the hardest part, is just leaving in those situations.
It's funny because now we make, like, the kids make a joke. They make a joke. They know the past. They know some of the, I didn't sugarcoat shit. They know what's up. That when it came to their mom, I was very cautious of what I said about their mother. They saw it themselves. So now they're like, whatever. So at the dinner table, we're talking about whatever bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And then my kids are like, Dad, remember that one time you abandoned us? I'm like, fucking hey, dude. I'm like, bro, you weren't even old enough to fucking remember that. He goes, yeah, but I still hold it inside. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, my wife's like, dude, that kid's just as sarcastic as you are, man. And my fucking, like, my 16-year-old kid, dude, he just comes out of the, dude, we can be having a movie night, a very touchy movie, and then, like, I don't know, maybe something happens similarly. I haven't seen you in a week or whatever, and then they'll, hey, Dad, remember that one time you abandoned us? Oh my god, dude, you guys aren't old enough to remember what happened. He said, but we know, Dad, we know. Anyways.
Yeah, you know, hey, fun fact, by the way, kids as early as 4 know a lot more than we realize they do.
Yeah.
I found that out doing this show. I met somebody and they were telling us about that. They're like, yeah, Heroes is 4. They watch everything you're doing, and I'm like, oh, that's great. I don't even want to know what my kids think a relationship should be like, thanks to me.
Yeah, well, this last time where he pulled that shit on me, I just threw back at him. Well, I was told you didn't love me, and I was told that you didn't need me, so that's why I abandoned you. And he was like, oh shit, okay, cool, we're cool, Dad, we're cool.
He's like, never mind, I'm done playing.
We're cool. This game's over. And we laugh about it, and they laugh about it. Like I said, they don't know the details. It didn't like. I know they suffered because I know they missed me, and I know they suffered because when I finally answered a phone call 2 weeks later, the next thing she's calling my phone, blowing up my phone. I'm ignoring it, and I finally answered, "What the hell do you want?" And it was my 18-year-old saying, "Daddy," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, okay, I'm on my way." And I just fucking, I'm away. So I went and picked them up, and then I looked at her and I told, don't ever tell me my kids don't love me, because this is otherwise. And let's go. But now we all, like I said, go back and laugh about it. And my kids are like, that's what they throw as a joke. Hey, Dad, remember that one time you abandoned us? I'm like, fucking hey, man, you guys are dicks, man.
You shouldn't abandon them then. Damn, bro.
Oh, here you go now.
I'm gonna do that shit so randomly. Andy, remember that time you just stop answering messages, man?
Right.
I feel like you're not listening to me anymore.
Yeah. Remember that one time you rushed me on the podcast? You wanted to get back on track?
Like, fuck, man. Like I felt rushed, bro. Like
damn. Fuck. Oh man. But yeah, no, it's always good to have a support system, bro. You have friends. Like I said, I use this podcast now, and there's people that I check up on a regular basis. There's one of my guests that we have to have a conversation once a month. Hey, it's that time of the month. What's up? And we have a conversation and shit. So it's
that's good, man.
It helps. Like I said, it's like I'm here. Not only do I have a guest, I feel that I'm making a friend, and my line's always open. The hotline's always open. All that good stuff. But let's get back on track.
Here we go. See, he's fucking up and he's taking us off track. Damn it, man. Shit.
Hey, man.
All right, what's the next question?
Cut it into family time, bro. No, play. Your personal identity and interest, man. I like this quote that I got from your notes, from your bullet points. It said you describe yourself as a huge nerd at heart. What does that mean for you, and how has it been a part of your identity?
I'm a huge nerd. Like when I say nerd, I'm talking anime, Marvel, all of that shit. I've got posters in my bedroom that are all anime posters. Literally, when I lived by myself, I don't even know how big the wall was. I had at least 40 anime posters. And I'm talking like they painted my walls like wallpaper all over my room, everywhere. Yes. I had a hoarding problem too. Remember those pop figures? Yeah. I had about 350 of those. My collection was worth about $8,000. And I had a whole separate room just of random shit I'd collect. Of just random I'm talking the most random shit possible. Like there's weird items I'd find at Goodwills and things I'd go out and get. I had all these different game systems, all the retro game systems. I've got all that shit packed up somewhere. When my wife came one time, I'm lucky she didn't just walk back out the fucking door, honestly. She came over one time and looked over, she goes, "What's this? This is my game room." She goes, "What the fuck is that?" "That's my game room." Like all this stuff in there. And then she had the little one. She was younger at the time, so like when she came over, I had to move all the figures because I had everything displayed and shit. And I'm talking, I had them up to the top of the ceiling is how tall my stack of them were, And since then, I purged a lot of them. I have a lot of Dragon Ball Z figures. I had a lot of manga books too. I got rid of a lot of those too. Fuck, what else I have? I have a collection of Ninja Turtle, the hardback copies of the graphic novels. Those are the ones I keep because I was a big Ninja Turtles fan as a kid. Yeah. I even have signed figures of the Dragon Ball Z set. I'm missing a few people, but I've got almost everybody's signatures for all the characters and things. So, it's gotten better since I got married, but my wife pretty much gave me the ultimatum. Like, she kept like egging me on to get rid of this shit. She's like, it just sits in the closet. I'm like, yeah, It's like she's trying to make it like it's my own idea. Like, hey, yeah, you should get rid of this. I went to the local place in town, and they were like, I'm like, yeah, hey, listen, you guys are looking for pops? I got you. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. I come back like 4 totes of shit. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I got a lot. I bought a lot. If you ask the GameStop across the way, they'll say I'm the pop guy over there because I cleared their shelves out a few times buying the shit.
I've been laughing because I didn't want to cut you out because you were talking, but I was laughing because when you said your wife's like, "What is this?" Right? When my wife moved in, she said the same shit. I pulled out the PlayStation She said, "What's that?" I'm like, "That's my PlayStation." And I would
My
play.
wife's first experience ever was Overwatch 2 because she knew I was playing Overwatch when we dated. We'd talk on Snapchat because when we were dating, she lived 2.5 hours away from me. So she's closer to the Oklahoma border than where I am. I'm outside of Dallas. So she'd always wonder what I was playing. And her ex, when he and her split up, left her the Xbox there. And she's like, well, yeah, I just kind of sits there. I don't do anything. Hey, what's that game you're playing? I'm like, I'm playing Overwatch. I played many different games. I've had so many games, dude. I don't even finish half of them. Honestly, there's still so many I have to finish.
I like the only thing I've been playing for the past 10 years is Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty. That's it. And I don't even do the storyline.
I played Call of Duty for a while. I stopped after a while. It took up too much space, and I had too many. I have a short attention span, so I like to play multiple different things. So like any given time, I'm on my phone, I'm talking to somebody, I'm playing, and I'm doing something else all at once. And it's just like, it's funny to watch me as I go. Even when I'm here in my studio where I'm at now, I use the side bedroom for my studio. I'm watching TV. I'm working on uploading episodes. I'm working on what's next, checking out next guest profile, see it is, messaging people as well on my phone. Everything. I'm doing all these different things, so. Yeah. But yeah, I played Call of Duty for a while, man. I knocked off the #1 Ghost player in the world. If you go based on the leaderboards, when I used to play for a while and things like that too. But then I started playing Destiny and shit, so that took a lot of my time. And then what else were we playing? We were playing Outriders. We played a bunch of random shit. Anything I could play with friends, I was down for. Like anything we all could get together and play, because we'd had the most interesting chat party conversations. And usually I was the person that started them too. They're all looking at me like, what the hell is he going to say first? And then what is it? Advanced Warfare came out. We were playing that one for a while too. We had a blast that. I think we stopped playing right around Black Ops 4 or 5 and things, so we started all trailing off because we started playing Destiny, and then my buddy and I got big into For Honor, and we were actually going to play for a professional team, but then I guess that whole thing fell through because he said he met up with somebody and he was talking about, my buddy and I play a lot, and I was like, so we play that a lot too, and then we do Overwatch was the other thing we started picking up too, because at first I never played it. We played Paladins, which was the knockout version. So then I started playing Overwatch for a bit and things like that too. And that's when, like, right around the time my wife started dating, I started playing a lot of it. And she's like, "What are you playing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm playing Overwatch or whatever, and things like that too." And she was never a big gamer until now. And then ever since she met me, she likes to play. But we play ranked a lot together. So, like, we were playing Marvel Rivals, but that game is just like, it's love and hate.
I can't get my wife to play shit, dude. The only thing we got her to play one time was Mario Party on the Switch. So we got her doing that, at least that. Yeah. But
yeah, she complains about my Nintendo 64. It's in the closet. Little does she know I have a whole Sega Genesis collection in there too. I've got about $600 worth of Sega Genesis, $400 worth of Nintendo 64 games and systems. And a bunch of other crap in there too. A lot of them complete in box too. A lot of Sonic the Hedgehog's complete in boxes as well, and things like that. So she doesn't know all that exists.
When I was still talking to one of my brother-in-laws, he let me borrow his Nintendo 64, and the first thing I went to go do is I went to go buy a memory card and a No Mercy. So I Zelled the guy on OfferUp. So I Zelled the guy on for the game, right? And I titled the purchase I titled the guy's name as No Mercy. So my wife, within a second, bro, she's like, "Who's No Mercy?" And I sent her the picture of the game. She was, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yeah. Listen, my poison was it WCW or the NWO?
Yeah.
Revenge. We'd sit there, turn all the thing off, and it'd just be KOs. Only you sit there for like hours playing that game.
Yep.
My brother, he had No Mercy on his 64. Because remember, we didn't live together, so I played by myself a lot. So I played that, and then I played my PlayStation. I had Crash Bandicoot Racing. I'd play that a lot too, and things like that. But yeah, we remember hours playing that fucking. And Mario Party 2, that was the big thing that we all got together and played. So I have Mario Party 2 in my closet and things like that. And what was it? GoldenEye was another big one for all of us, dude. Oh god. You always want to be the little Asian dude and always be like really low to the ground so people can't hit you. So you got to kind of go in there and start slapping the fuck out of each other too. Yeah, we did all that.
Well,
No Mercy was our favorite though.
To jump towards the future, buddy, if you ever want to add me to the will, I'll take the 64 off your hands, bro.
We could talk about it. My wife would gladly sell it to you. Watch.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
she'll sell it to you.
Get her on the line, bro. Get off the screen. Get her on the line. Yeah, no, I haven't bought one. I want one so bad, but
Listen, man, you could try Macari. It's really great, and this goes to anybody that's looking for any kind of collectible stuff. Macari's really great for like signature stuff too. You can get like signed figures and shit on there for like really decent prices, and they're verified that the signature is real too. But that's how I got mine. I pieced mine together. I got the system, and I bought the power supply, and then I actually have a converter that'll play on most HDMI and the TV, so the HDMI port and things like that as well. So I'm probably gonna fire it up on the projector now.
yeah, you truly are a huge nerd at heart. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you answered that
Yes,
question pretty well, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump back on it. So when did you first realize that how important mental health was for your own journey?
I still think it's when I did my men's mental health episode with Pete's Corner Store with my friend, the two people I was with at the time. Like I said, dude, after doing a lot of research, like I said, the numbers are just fucking crazy, man. Like I'm thinking to myself, like I'm in the age range where we're the second most likely to try and, kill myself for some whatever reason. But it's like, it's not shocking though if you think about it. When you think about men, we don't talk about shit. Like you can't come to most of your friends and tell them about shit, because if you do, they'll tell you to stop talking, or you're a wuss, or you're this or that. And it's just like, it just stuck with me. Something about it just was like calling to me like, hey man, we need to go down this road and see where this path is going to take us, And like I said, as soon as I put that thing out there, dude, I had no fucking clue what is going to happen next. Like this thing is just fucking shot up. So November of the first year that the first half of the year the show started, I'm already out to July of just people lined up, and it's only Mondays, mind you. I'm not doing any other days, just fucking Mondays all the way up to July. I was like, this is crazy, dude. There's obviously something here. It's a demand. It's like, only in the beginning of the year did I open the schedule up further. In like March, I did 32 interviews, and people are like, you did 32? I'm like, oh, my bad. I did like 35. My bad. I forgot a couple people in there, and it's like,
yeah.
Like, you really did all that? I'm like, yeah, I got kind of sweaty, because the site we're a part of has like a leaderboard. I was like number 2, and I was like, I didn't even worry about that part of it. I was just shocked. I was like, okay, well, I'm number 2. What the hell does that mean? I ended up at like number 3 after the end of the month, but it was just like, it was so draining afterwards. So, but the conversation it's just so interesting, because I'd invite different people, like different areas of different things. There's so many people out there doing so many different things. It's so great. So you get these people that come in and they're teaching you new things. So I'm telling you, it had to be that episode, because ever since then, it was in my head that I need to do something, or I need to talk more about it. It's like, I want to do still podcast, and I knew the other one wasn't going anywhere. And it's like, I need to scrap it, kind of take a break and think about it. And I took that month, and had I listened to my wife and not done it, I don't think I'd be where I'm at now. Like, I would have never made all the friends I've made. I would never had all the guests I've had on, all these other different people that come on, and, and it's just like, I just had a calling. I felt like it's there, and it's just like, I love it. It's not even like a job. It's just like, I just enjoy it.
Same thing.
It's just great.
The same thing. If it wasn't for my uncle that said, hey, dude, you have a lot of stories. Why don't you start a podcast? If it wasn't for that, I would have never done this. And like I said, like you said, I've met so many people that I talk to on a daily basis. One of my guests, my very first TikTok guest, I think he's on episode 53. I'm not sure right now. I see him on TV commercials when I'm at the gym. I've seen him on Facebook commercials, like ads and stuff.
That's so cool.
And we talked about that. He said he wanted to be a voice actor, and I could think like a year or two later, I'm over here at the gym on a fucking treadmill, and I look up and I'm like, holy shit, that's Gary. Holy shit, that's Gary. And I take a picture and I send it to him. Dude, that's you on TV. He was like, hey, no shit. So it was freaking awesome.
Like,
so,
no shit.
No shit. I think he said he was going to be like only like on like little small Facebook apps. So on Facebook ads. So he was like, maybe I should charge more for that one. I'm like, oh shit.
Right. Yeah. No,
yeah.
Man.
So I see Gary on TV and I'm like, no shit. That's awesome. He did what he said he was going to do. And my very first TikTok guest. So that was a long time ago. But yeah, no, I've made multiple friends. And like I said, at first it started off with me talking about me and what I went through. And I'm like, well, I'm done telling my story, kind of. Like, well, what do I want to keep doing this podcast. I like it. So that's when getting people on TikTok to come on and doing that, man. But
With TikTok, with my subject, it's a little sensitive, so it's kind of hard. So I was planning on doing TikTok stuff, like more live things. I used to at first used to be live when I was recording, and people get to see the back scene. Everybody was so fascinated to know how everything operated because they only see the other side, the smooth production of what was going on. And I was leaving it up, like my camera up, so people could see what's going on the backside where I'm recording and things like that too. But it's like, TikTok's really sensitive to certain subjects. Which, I mean, I get it because a lot of the topics I talk about, depending on what we're talking about, it could be triggering to people. So I get where they're coming from, but that's why I don't do TikTok. Like I used to do live episodes. Now I don't anymore. I just kind of decided to just kind of do what I'm doing now. Just drop most of it, focus more on the audio. Like I'll drop the video one. I'm going to synchronize the newer ones with the audio and the YouTube and Rumble, all the drops simultaneously because you could schedule them to be out at a certain time.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Like I was working on while we were talking, I was working on getting some more stuff set up. So I'm already out to October for my audio, and I still have I think I've still got 10 more interviews I have to set up that are before I even get to the ones I just did this past week and things like that too. But I like I said, man, I love it, man. I don't even see it as it's not even a hobby, bro. It's just too much fun. I'm having a great time doing this thing. Like you're learning having all these interesting conversations. You're learning new things. You're learning new tools. And not only that, I have a lot of resources for other people because people know what I do. They all come up to me and say they appreciate what you're doing. I love that fact you're making this space. And it's just at first I was like, okay, all I'm having is a conversation, but damn, you don't realize how great a conversation is though. You could sit here, drill 20 questions, something but for me, it's just I'm just flowing with the conversation all the time. And a lot of people that meet me go, well, I wasn't sure what to feel about this conversation, but 5 minutes in, I'll never mind. We're good to go. Well, let's go to town on this thing. So let's go.
I've been told that in the beginning, they're like, hey, that was a good topic. That was a conversation. And I'm like, oh, no shit. Okay. All right, cool. Dude, I had a police officer use my stories out in the field and while he was working. He said, well, I heard on the podcast that if neither one of you have some kind of child custody order, that there's nothing I can do about it. The police can't do anything about it. That means that he can take his kids to Mexico and not come back until you have documentation. He's used my my story on the podcast for on his while he was working.
That's pretty cool,
Officer
man.
Ricky, everybody knows Officer Ricky. He's on the podcast on a regular basis. He's neglected me for a while now.
He's neglected. Damn it, Rick! Why are you neglecting him, bro? It's not
Rick.
Cool. Listen. There's an Officer Lee that's close to me, man. I harass this guy every day about how he's a Rams fan. So it's okay. I remind him every day his team sucks. I'm I tell other people, hey, listen, is Officer Leon? Oh yeah, hey, listen, do me a favor. When you see him, tell him that the Rams suck, and they're all laughing hysterically.
Yeah, he started neglecting me because he had a kid. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Your kid comes first. All right, cool.
Yeah, right.
This microphone you gave to me to start this shit, and that's it, bro. Whatever, dude.
The microphone was a gift. The arm of this I used as a gift. The computer, the laptop I'm using right now is a gift. The camera I'm using all are gifts too.
Yeah,
people just give you,
the laptop was a gift. This first microphone was a gift.
You know what I'm saying, right, man?
Everything
we have
else
similar
I bought.
stories when it comes to all that.
Everything else I freaking. The TV up here was a gift. This monitor was a gift. But the recorder, the stands, dude, I bought 4 of these because I wanted to have 4 guests at one point. So back to I'm getting out of track. See that? See what you're doing, bro? See what you're doing? What was the biggest misconception you've encountered about mental health?
Biggest misconception?
That's a big word for me. That's a big word for me, bro.
I think it's the fact that, like I said, I think it's the fact where you pointed out that people think therapy automatically means you're going to be medicated, or they think you're crazy. And I've asked people that question. There's a guy I know. If you go based on his appearance, you'd never know this poor guy was dealing with anything. And I was asking him, I said, hey man, have you ever thought about therapy? Just talking to somebody and see, maybe they'll understand your thoughts better. And he said, yes. I said, so why haven't you done it? He said, because I thought that people think I'm crazy. I said, but why do you think people think you're crazy? Man, you're just talking to somebody, make sense of your thoughts that are going on in your head kind of thing. And a lot of people, I think that's their biggest fear. And that biggest misconception is that they're like, well, now you're talking to a therapist, you're crazy. And it's really not the case. It's there's nothing wrong with getting yourself in a better place, headspace too, especially when you deal with depression and anxiety, because mine kind of feed one another. So you've got an endless, infinite loop of just, funness going on and stuff like that too, and it's why live in a constant state of panic when you could do something about it, and it just makes me laugh when people say it, because it's just like it's not what therapy's about. Like medicine is the big one. I think I hear a lot from people too. It's like, oh, I don't want to get medicated for these things. You can tell them no. You don't have, unless you're telling them something like they're like, oh fuck, we need to get you some medication now, which is a very rare kind of area. You'd have to be in a level of psychosis to be that part. Like, it's not going to kill you. You're fine. All you're doing is talking to somebody. And the other thing I like that makes me laugh is people are like, well, I don't want to tell them I'm not interested in it. I don't like them. Like, these people know. They're ready. This is like the girlfriend that, they're looking for a quick hookup. Like, if you're not interested or you don't fit in with what they're doing, just tell them. Don't stay and keep going to them just because you think you're going to hurt their feelings. They are already accepting this. They know exactly. Like, listen, if I don't fit your style, okay, cool. See you later.
Earlier, when I had asked you about, we were talking about like, going to therapy, right? And I started talking about me going to therapy. The one thing I forgot and I left out to ask you, but now I'm going to say it. The beautiful thing about therapy, guys, ladies, children, kids, whatever, everyone, the beautiful thing about therapy, and Peter will agree with me, is that they help you understand your triggers. Mm-hmm. And I forgot to ask you that earlier, but triggers is like if one day you're just like doing whatever out of nowhere and then you get upset for no reason. They help you understand why you got upset. Like, they know, like, for example, thank you for being on time. But I dropped the ball today with my memory card, but 5 o'clock is 5 o'clock. Why is 5 o'clock 5 o'clock? Because my mom was always late to things. And I never, I always knew, like, hey, babe, what time was your mom's house? What time we have to be at your mom's house? Oh, we got to be there at 1:30. Okay, well, it's 1 o'clock. We're still in Oxnard. Are you fucking serious?
Like that too.
So, but even though that's something so simple, therapy helped me realize that it was because of my upbringing. Yeah. And then the whole staying home. Why do you like to stay home? Well, do we have plans this weekend? No, we don't have plans this weekend. Okay, cool. My mind's set, bro. I'm good. My mind's set. We're not doing shit this weekend. Oh, hey, well, we're going to go to my mom's house tomorrow. Wait, what? No, wait, why? Why? You just told me fucking on Wednesday that we had no plans this weekend. Why do I like to stay home? Because my mom never had us home. We were always at comadres' houses all the fucking time. I was like, dude, can we just be fucking home? And then, I mean, there's way more fucking triggers. These are just two of the stupidest ones that I have. But real quick story. Yesterday, last story about that, the OCD. Yesterday we were at the at work, and the merchandisers, they go and they put on what we call the beer runner. Yeah. And the kid was like, hey man, so the receiver buried the rest of the product. We can't level it out. And I'm like, fuck, man. He goes, it's gonna bother you, isn't it? I'm like, fuck yeah, it is. So bring 4 of these, and we'll do it. We'll fix it around. He's okay, cool. So boom, and he's like, the kid's like, fuck, I see what you mean. It looks a lot more cleaner, more fresh, blah, 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 right. And then I'm like, yeah. But then I noticed that one of the packages on a different brand had like a little tear on the paper. Dude, I went and grabbed it and I switched it, and the guy's like, no fucking way you just fucking did that. It was bothering me, dude. It was bothering me. So
no, I get it. No, it makes sense.
My
no, that 100% makes sense. I get that too.
When
my wife's like that. She's very OCD when it comes to cleaning.
Yeah.
But I was like I spent a lot of time by myself, so I don't really taught me how to clean things. So she's always bitches at me about it a lot of times, and she gets on my ass about it all the time. Oh well, I'm sorry, nobody taught you how to clean right. I'm going to teach you the right way. And it's like, oh, hold up, calm down now.
And that little OCD came from when my mom did have a job. When she did work, she would come home. And even though I spent like all fucking day cleaning after my siblings, the 8 siblings that I'm helping take care of, even though I help take care of those kids and I'm cleaning, she would always come back to say, this house is a fucking mess and blah, blah, blah. What are you fucking talking about? It's fucking clean. Yep. Are you fucking serious? Like, and she wasn't even the cleanest person herself. Are you fucking serious? You go to her house now and it's like, I went one day to her house and I'm like, holy shit, your house is spotless, you know? And it's like, but you're going to give me shit for that. Are you fucking serious? So that's where that little detail of OCD comes in. And again, this is all stuff that, back to the point of this conversation, is that your therapist can help you realize why you get upset so easily, what bothers you. And at the end of the day, it's all triggers. The one thing that he taught me that I understood was that he told me, people are the way they are because of the way they were raised. So you need to have like patience. So sometimes when I tell my wife, I'm going to fucking choke you out, man. But I can't, because I remember when
my my wife's like that too. She's like, I just want to punch you in the face. Okay, you're gonna get your hands sometime.
You know the saying, you can't live with them. Like you can't. So I always say you can't kill them, and you can't live with them, and you can't kill them. So he didn't laugh. That was a joke, bro. Laugh. There it is. Anyways.
Oh, I know. I was just like, I was sitting there waiting for your response.
So he, like I said, he helped me understand that. And even with my wife, he told my wife, if you're going to marry this man, if you love this man, you need to have a lot of patience. And when she sees me throw my fucking tantrums, she'll, okay, let him throw his fucking tantrum. Once he's done, he's done. Then she makes me realize how stupid I fucking looked.
So you're like, oh, are you done now?
Pretty much.
All right.
Pretty much.
You feel good?
Yeah.
You look stupid now. You're like, okay, all right, okay. Mm-hmm. I could just imagine your wife when she's like,
Yep, okay. I told her, look, when it comes to time, don't give me a time frame. Don't give me if you don't give me a time frame, then I won't freak out. What time do we have to go to Officer Ricky's house? It's his birthday today. They didn't give me a time frame. Oh, all right, cool. So we start driving. We leave the house like at 2:00. Well, they didn't give us a time frame. So I pulled into a car wash and I washed the car. We get to Ricky's house. We're usually the first ones there, and everybody knows that. We were the last ones there, bro. And they're like, dude, the party was at 2. It's like 3:30 now. I'm like, hey, bro, they didn't give me a time frame, bro, so I don't give a shit.
He's like, I don't care. I followed the rules. Sorry, I played the game, man. Sorry.
Hey, man, she told us you had a party today. There wasn't a specify. The thing is, she said any time after 2:00. If she said at 2:00, then we had to be there at 2:00. She said any time after 2:00. Okay, well, usually they lie to people. They say 2:00, but they really mean 3. Okay, fuck it. We'll get there at 3:30. No, yeah, it was at 2:00. We were the last ones there, bro.
Well, I mean, not to invite you anything on time, goddammit, all right?
Don't invite me on
time.
Now
I'm gonna fuck you, tell you certain things at time limits. Like, hey, man, listen, I need you to do this at like 1:30. And you're looking at 1:30. Oh, my God, he's not answering. What's going on?
That's me, man. That's my OCD, bro. Right. That's my OCD. And that's the one thing I told my merchandiser. I saw my merchandiser walk up to the store, and I had just pulled up. It was like 4:48 in the morning. And then I text him, hey, dude, is that you? And I like his name, too. His name's Kobe. I'm like, hey, Kobe, was that you, dude? And he was like, oh, yeah, it's here. I'm like, they might open the door until 5:00, but, if you get in, you get in. No, they let him in a few minutes later. I'm like, okay, then I saw you go in, but I'll see you at 5. He goes, why? He goes, my LCD does not allow me to clock in until 5. 5. Oh, my lunch, I clock in at 5. 5 on the dot, not 5:01. My lunch is at 9, not 9:01, and I clock out at 1:30. Not 1:31. Or if I go farther, if I go past the 1:30, then it's at 1:45. If I go past the 1:45, then it's at 2:00. So that's, dude, I'm fucked in the head, bro. I'm so fucked in the head.
It's okay. My anxiety has me do weird shit too. Like, like Snapchat has the location thing. I have my wife turn hers on because, like, I'm trying to see where she's at. If she's coming from work, like, I'll start checking it, like, every 10 minutes. Like, what's she doing? She's not moving. What is she doing? She's over here in these weird places. Like, the map will start moving in places. My heart starts racing. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with time, too. It's like she's like, oh, we got to be at a certain time. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting there like, hey, we got to go, don't you think? We got to get ready to go. Oh, yeah, we got to get going, don't we? Got to go. Like, like your heart start racing. You're trying not to have a freak out moment and shit. And it's just like, oh.
I think
she does it just to try my patience. I think she tries to try my anxiety, see if it'll go off or not. Because my heart's racing. I'm standing there like my heart's going 1,000 miles an hour. Like you just ran a marathon and you're just like, oh shit.
I told my wife one day, I'm like, you do understand that time does not revolve around you. Like you understand that, right? Like you understand that, right? But you know what? It's not just her, bro. It's the whole fucking family, bro. That's why I don't get mad, bro. Because I do get mad. I take that back. But that's why I have patience because of how she was raised. I tell my siblings, I tell the wife's siblings too. I'm like, you guys do know, understand that time does not revolve around you guys, right? You guys, 10 o'clock means 10 o'clock. But my wife's like, if you stop stressing out, you know you'll live longer, right? I'm like, fuck, man, I've been told that. So I've been trying my best to kind of relax.
Yeah.
I think it's about that time I invest in some edibles. Okay, back to the topic here. Let's see.
Yeah, those are great too. Anyways,
Anyways.
Better than pills with less side effects.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure having you on, bro. This is like longest episode I've had in a long time. So I got 2 more questions for you, my boy.
Let's do it.
Today, looking back on your journey from childhood to now, what message do you hope people take away from hearing your story?
I think that people need to understand that they need to talk about their mental health more. Like, I think that we need to start the conversation at an earlier age. I can't stress it enough. I think kids as early as 12 should probably start having this conversation. Like, just getting them to understand their emotions. Like, you could start as early as 4 or 5, teach them all those things, But I think that, mental health is really important. I know we blame it a lot. Think about all the school shootings, things that happen. Like, had I not gone through everything I did, I don't think I'd be on the same path I'm now. So I'm grateful for it. But at the same time, I wish it didn't have to be that rocky of a road to get there, all the things like that. Because now I deal with a lot of the aftermath. So, if you're struggling out there, I cannot stress this enough. Please go get help. Like, don't be afraid to have somebody come talk to you or talk to somebody, and reach out to somebody if you're having bad thoughts in your head. At least talk to somebody. If you need to, 988 is a great tool for that. There's actually another one I just recently found out. It's called helphub.co. Lisa Sugarman has put together this site for you to go to, and you can start exploring different options for your mental health. Like I cannot stress enough, especially if you're a fucking man. Start talking to somebody, because the love of fucking God, we are dying at a faster rate than we are reproducing. And we make up 50% of the population. So 80% of us are gone. So the numbers aren't looking good. In a group of 5 of us, 3 to 4 of those people won't be there for some reason. Some form of suicide will happen for that reason. And it's all because we're too scared to talk about it. Like, let's cut this bullshit. We see it's not working. Let's not continue the process and keep going. Hey, listen, the train's going off the rails. I think we should put it back on the fucking rails. Let's not let it just keep going, guys, But I like I said, man, I can't stress enough, man. It's just like, talk about your mental health more. Like, people just think, oh, yeah, God, okay, I don't tell people, hey, how's your day? Don't ask how your day is. Ask how your mental health is for any other reason than the fact that you need to start asking the right questions. Ask somebody like, hey, listen, if they're in a bad mood, hey, listen, are you doing okay? Is there anything I can do for you? Don't give them the option to give you a 1-word fucking answer. Don't go to somebody and say, hey, how's your day going? And expect them to elaborate on anything. Like, hey, man, how you doing? Is everything okay? You see them in a bad mood. Like, ask them the questions that get them to respond to you. Because if you keep giving them 1-word answers, they're going to tell you they're fine. And the next thing you know, they may not be here the next day.
Exactly.
And, and it's fucked up. And it's like, I'm not asking you all to be experts. I'm just asking you to be, just ask the right questions if you're worried about your friends. And don't be afraid to ask them, though, if they're going to commit. Do you think they're going to commit suicide? Ask them. Just straight up, just ask them. Like, you're not going to do any other harm to them. They're going to either get a shockwave or they're going to be like, oh, shit. Am I really thinking about this? And like I said, 988's there for that. If you feel like your friend or somebody else is going down that route, like, for the love of God, again, guys, please open your fucking mouths and talk about it more. Like, God damn it, we are dying too quick for this shit to be happening. I'm not just holding space for anyone. I'm doing it for everybody, because this thing needs to be talked about more, man. Like, we blame it, we shove it under the rug and say, oh, well, it's no big fucking deal. Well, it is a problem. So let's stop letting it be the problem. Let's go make a call to action and change these things, because together we can do this, guys, and like I always say, don't ask your day, say, hey, how's your mental health today?
Exactly. And again, guys, maybe not even a question for the guest or myself. Do you want to leave an anonymous voice message just venting on my hotline? Go for it. I'll give you that number again, 818-806-8595. If you just need to call it to vent and just get it off your chest, leave it on a recording. If you don't want to physically hear me talk, respond, then just vent on the voice message. And I feel like What's helped me a lot to vent is I'll get in my email app and I'll just start venting on the freaking, and I'll just start typing shit up, and I'll just start typing shit up, whether I send it or not. That's two different scenarios, right? So I have communicated with my wife better that way.
Journaling is a great idea too. Yeah. You know, it gets the thoughts out of your head and things like that.
Because when you have no one to talk to, it's like you feel you're like, by you typing it out, you're talking. And you know what? The wife and I have had multiple discussions and issues fixed because I'm okay. Look, we're both heated right now. I'm gonna say something I'm gonna regret. So let's just do it this way. Boom, boom, boom. And even sometimes when I need to communicate to my mother-in-law or my wife's siblings or whatever, if they said something that I don't know, like one day it was brought up to my attention that I only use this podcast to talk shit about the family. So, dude, I went on a rant. Oh yeah, okay, and I just typed some bullshit up, and then most of them didn't know what was going on, and my mother-in-law, oh, just let them vent, just let them vent. And I'm like, no, don't just let me vent. You guys need to understand what's going on. So I told her, if I was talking bad about the family, why am I being asked to be on other people's podcasts? Why are people coming on and sharing their stories if all I'm doing is bad mouthing the family? So there was a miscommunication at one point. I went on a just to give people, the listeners, a quick reminder. I went on a COVID rant and I said, "Fucking stop having family gatherings," and they interpret that as I'm bad mouthing the family because we got COVID because of a fucking family gathering. So, you know, but again, I'm going to go back to this, like, guys, the hotline, if you want to just vent and leave a voice message with a vent, you can say on there, do not put this on your podcast. Go for it. 818-806-8595. I don't have the number for the suicide hotline off my top of my head.
988.
Go for it. Shoot it out.
It's 988, guys. It's simple as that. 988. They'll connect you to somebody that is completely trained to handle these problems. And if you're looking to start your journey, trying to figure out where to go, like I said, helphub.co is great. It's all set up for you. If there's certain religious things that fall under, it's all there. Like Lisa took all this time to put this thing together for you guys and stuff like that too. So just check it out, you know, and all it is helphub.co. That's it. It'll take you there and you can explore all the different options. There's different things, different ways to connect to different people, you know, and things like that. And listen, if y'all anyone ever has a story that wants to reach out, man. I'm always listening to everybody's stories, you know. I'm always around, you know, and you know, and Andy's got a good point though. There is a side project I am working on in case anybody that hears this is interested. I am doing something that's called Voice of the Voiceless. It's based on my memoir, my self-titled memoir. Basically the idea is that if you have a story that you want to be heard, I'll read your story, or I'll let you come on and share your story. But the only requirement is that you have to end it voice of the voiceless. The idea is that your story will be out there, but no one will know it's your story. You know, and your story will matter to somebody. I guarantee you right now, somebody's going to hear your story. And if you touch one person's heart, you've done enough right there. And that's it. That's all you got to connect to is one person, because the idea is to make sure people don't feel alone. Like you're like, we're not alone in this world. Everybody deals with something. You know, and that's the great thing about Pete versus Anxiety. It's like it's all about, you know, bringing people on to let you know there's other people out there. So talk therapy is not your thing. Hey, listen, I got these other people that do these things. Check these out. Maybe that's more towards what you're looking for, you know. Or, you know, and other people come on and share their stories, you know, and like you hear somebody's story, be like, oh, damn, like this person shared their story. Now I want to come share mine too. And, you know, it's you know, creating that safe space that you guys can talk about these things, because I don't judge anybody for anything. Like, you know, I've heard some of the wildest fucking stories on here. There's a lot more stories I've heard that are just wild ones, man. But I'll give you the space. If you want to come tell your story, you just reach out and let me know. We'll figure it out from there, man. I may be booking into July until December and everything like that, but I'm leaving the other days open for stuff like that for anybody that reaches out to me and it's like, hey, listen, Pete, I got a story for you. You know, I'll set it up for you like that too. So don't worry about the whole how far I'm out kind of thing on my calendar. We can figure something out. I'll make something work for you. Don't worry. I'd like to have your story be heard.
Can you share on here your socials and how to get a hold of you?
Yeah, definitely, guys. I'm Pete versus Anxiety on pretty much every single thing possible. TikTok, on Instagram, it's Pete _versus _anxiety, ANNXIET. Podcast and Facebook as well. I have my own Facebook group too, the Team Anxiety. If anybody wants to be a part of it, they get first dibs on everything that goes on. Any big guests that come on, I generally tell everybody about it and stuff like that too. But you can find me on everything. I'm on TikTok all the way down to everything. Honestly, X all the way down to TikTok. I'm the same thing, Pete versus Anxiety, all the way across. TikTok, I'm really not too active yet on it, but I've been on there for a little bit. I come on here and there, but sometimes I'm live, man. Hey, listen, if I'm live, pop in, say what's up or whatever. You can find the podcast, audio, everything, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm on everything. I'm on Amazon, Apple. I'm on everything you could possibly use. We're there, man. And, and like I said, if you want to be a guest, reach out to Andy or reach out to me and let me know. Andy will get you in contact with me, or just reach out to me. PeteVersusAnxietyPod@gmail.com is my email. I get emails all the time. Please understand I am a one-man team, so sometimes it takes me a little bit to respond to you. I am not ignoring you all. I will definitely get back to you as soon as I can.
And right now, just letting Pete share his socials, I realized that my OCD started kicking my butt. So my Instagram is Ride With Me Podcast, but everything else is FTA_podcast. So I'm going to have to change my Instagram to FTA_podcast, starting today. And, for the previous, episodes where I've said Ride With Me Podcast, sorry about that. So you guys can reach out to me on like I said, also on Instagram. At the moment is Ride With Me Podcast. I will be changing it to FTA_podcast. TikTok, same thing, FTA_podcast, YouTube, Rumble, on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Alexa plays it, YouTube. You can rate the Spotify, you can leave a review on Apple, comment, follow, share. Humberto, thank you for last week's 2 weeks ago, 2 episodes ago's comment. I appreciate that, buddy. Before I ask you the last question, I will be bringing up the sponsor, guys. This episode was brought to you by SolarX Insurance. Fast, friendly, and affordable coverage that you can count on. Need an SR22? Do you ride a motorcycle? You already have insurance? SolarX has you covered. They help all drivers no matter the situation. Just call today at 877-736-4719. That's 877-736-4719, and get back on the road. Get back on the road with confidence. Call my buddy Juan. Again, he's a real person. I've known him since high school. Hit him up, guys. And I have one more question for you, buddy.
Before you get into the last question, guys, by the way, my episodes on YouTube are ahead of my audio ones. So if you want to go see some interesting ones, there's a bunch of ones on there that you see a little more about myself. So, I'm there. I'm a Rumble as well, too. So what's your last question, man? Let's go. Let's close this thing out with a banger.
Last question. I always ask the question to the parents that have underage children. And I think in this case, I think you need to get this one off your chest. Again, this podcast is adult conversations. I have to repeat it over and over again. I hate to repeat myself, but I do it anyways. These are grown-up conversations that I do not want children to be listening to, even though even though I put on there not for kids, whatever. I still have kids that I listen to the podcast, or teenagers. But if you had a message for your daughters, your kids, if they hear this episode in the future, what message would you have for them?
Just that I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't the best parent to you. I could say I'm sorry 1,000 times in different ways. It's just like, what I'm doing now is I'm pushing for a better future for you guys too. I mean, the topic of mental health, and the reason I struggle with mine so bad is because I denied I had a problem. So I mean, you guys shouldn't have dealt with the things I had to deal with. Like, everything I put you all through, all the things you're dealing with now. I mean, if I understand where you're at, I'm not mad that you guys don't want anything to do with me right this minute, but understand that I still love y'all, and that I'm still here if you need me.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome, man. That's I'm looking at his facial expression. Then girls, guys, kids, my listeners, his face, his demeanor changed, so he means that it's coming from his heart.
Yeah.
And then after that, now. My brother always makes fun of me. Like, do you go from a sensitive conversation into, okay, know what now? But Pete, thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, man. It's great. I had a great time.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for thank you for accommodating my OCD and coming on at 5 o'clock. You were ready to go before I was. So for that, I thank you. And so, Pete, any last words? Any last thing you have to say?
Guys, just remember, don't ask how your day is. Ask, hey, how's your mental health today?
I like it, bro. Well, Pete, like I end every podcast, thank you for riding with me. Nothing?
Yeah. Well, I'll see you later, guys. I figured you were signing it off right there because that's like how I do mine. It's like, hey, it's Pete for anxiety. It costs nothing to be kind to somebody. What kind of you can say with life? I'm Pete for anxiety. Signing out saying, hey, don't ask how your day is. Say, hey, how's your mental health? And the one guy I was reading goes, you got that down pretty good, huh? I'm like, yeah, I worked on it for a bit.
Well, I always set it up for my guests to say the last word. So let's try that again. I'm not deleting this part. I don't edit shit.
Okay, let's do it.
Pete, thank you for being on here. And like I end every podcast, thank you for riding with me.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate having me. And guys, remember I always say, it costs nothing to ask someone to be kind to somebody. One kind act could be somebody's life, or hell, you can make their day. I'm Pete for anxiety saying, hey, don't ask how your day is today. Say, hey, how's your mental health today?
All right, buddy. Thank you, man. Talk to you later.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie Podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.